Hey guys, Leslie here, and today I want to talk to you about my top anti-aging supplements. So first off, I want to start with a group of supplements that we all naturally produce when we're young, but where production falls off as we get older. And the first one is going to be NAD+. This was discovered by Professor Charles Brenner at Dartmouth College when he was investigating the sirtuin anti-aging pathway. So it's brought up by a company called True Niagen. And if you want to see the interview that I did with Professor Brenner, you can find that in the library as well. But NAD is involved in a lot of different processes in the body. For example, turning our food into energy, repairing DNA, and also resetting our circadian rhythm. So definitely worth looking at that. Another one that I take is one that I actually have developed from my mother, and it's called Spermidine. So Spermidine is a naturally occurring polyamine. It is found in fermented Japanese tofu called natto. That's actually the very highest source of it that you can get from food. But because Japanese natto is really an acquired taste, I like to think of it as the Japanese version of Stilton cheese. And I'm sorry if I'm offending those of you who love Stilton cheese, but I don't like the smell of Stilton cheese. So, and I don't love the smell of natto either. So Japanese natto is smelly and it's slimy. And for those people who have grown up with it, it's an absolute delicacy that happens to extend lifespan. The problem is I don't love it. And my mother who takes it, my stepdad doesn't like it either. So I happened to find a way to get this from wheat germ, and have actually been working on this project for a while. I've kind of been holding back on telling you guys about it, but I've been working with a professor at the University of Oxford, looking at her research into how spermidine actually boosts immunity. But this is through a process, a natural cellular process called autophagy, where we are constantly recycling and renewing cells. And that process, that natural process, actually falls off the older that we get. And that means that where we were once able to keep our cells young and new, when we get older, this ability declines to the point when we're 60 years old, we really just don't do it very much at all. And the link to immunity is that our T and B cells, which help us to identify pathogens and allows our immune system to, our adaptive immune system to selectively attack those pathogens as opposed to attacking whole tissues and organs, which is what our innate immune system would do. The adaptive immune system, without autophagy, it no longer begins to function. And that means that if we take a vaccine when we are after the age of 60, in particular after the age of 65 and 70, we don't create a memory bank of those pathogens that we've seen, and we don't have antibodies on hand ready to fight off those pathogens when we actually see them. So the work of the professor I'm working with, Katja Simon at Oxford, has shown that in animal models, when you actually pair spermidine together with vaccines, you will potentiate the efficacy of those vaccines to the point where a 90-year-old mouse that is given spermidine and a vaccine has a better response than a 20-year-old mouse that's given spermidine and the vaccine. So in other words, you can get better with age. And I kind of like that as I'm getting older. So spermidine kickstarts the autophagy process, which you could do if you were fasting, but if you can incorporate that and you can incorporate Japanese natto or huge quantities of wheat germ into your diet, then this is an easy way to do it. The third supplement that I like is glutathione, and I've talked a lot about glutathione in the past. This is the master antioxidant. This just happens to be the brand that I take. Like natto, this is really quite disgusting. They come in these sachets, which you sort of squeeze into a shot glass of water, and then you kind of knock back. As I've said before, yes, it tastes like you're drinking a fart. I'm really sorry about that. It's quite disgusting, but it works great. Now, if you don't like that, you can get it in capsule form, but please look for capsules that contain the patented Cetria brand of liposomal glutathione. So that the patent holder is a company out of Korea, and that's the liposomal glutathione technique will actually drive the glutathione into your cells, and that's where you want it. So I would definitely take that. Now, N-acetylcysteine is another supplement that I like. This is especially important for detoxification and for women who are menopausal who might be taking hormone replacement therapy. If you are concerned that you might have estrogen dominance, which could lead to cancers like breast cancer or uterine cancer, obviously you don't want that. NAC could be part of the solution to keep the estrogen levels in your body in check. And, speak to your doctor about this, but probably it would be NAC, DIM, and glutathione. And the great thing about NAC is it actually is a precursor to glutathione. And I've done another video all about how much you can take to get certain, X amount of glutathione, but it is a lot cheaper. So that's another interesting supplement to take. This supplement you probably are familiar with because we're all talking about ways to enhance our immunity now that we live in a time of virus pandemics. And vitamin D3 is very, very good for your immunity, in particular for people of color who have darker skin tones, who live in northern latitudes. This is actually something you really do need to supplement with. They actually have shown that South Asian populations that live in Scotland, which is very, very far north, actually have a greater incidence of developing rickets because they don't get enough vitamin D3 from the sunlight. The spectrum of light in northern parts of the globe are simply not strong enough for those of us whose ancestors came from parts of the planet where we got more sun naturally. Now, the interesting thing about vitamin D3 is you probably don't know that this is actually really important for mood. So it has been linked, low levels of vitamin D3 have been linked to all sorts of neuropsychiatric conditions, everything from depressive disorder to bipolar and schizophrenia. And just topping up with this, getting optimal amounts of sunlight can really make a big difference. So I love vitamin D3. But what I will also say about D3 is please bear in mind that you need to take it with vitamin K2. And the reason why is we want the vitamin D3 to get into our bones. And if we don't take it with K2, this will go to the lining of our arteries, which will shrink the arteries, and we don't want that. So what you want to do is definitely always pair it with some vitamin K2. The final supplement that I like as part of my anti-aging arsenal is vitamin C. Now, I didn't actually put grass-fed collagen into my list of anti-aging supplements because I see it more as a food, but I take grass-fed collagen and vitamin C every single day, partly because it helps build the two together, help build strong collagen for your skin, but it's also very important for your muscles. And as we get older, we lose the ability to build and maintain muscle. And we know that if we don't have strong muscles, we're more likely to fall. If we fall, we're more likely to break something like a hip. And we've all got family and friends who had a break in the hip, and then that was kind of the slippery slope down after that. So I love vitamin C for immunity, but also for its muscle building and collagen building properties. So those are my top 6 anti-aging supplements. If you've got any questions at all, please leave them in the comments below. You can also sign up for my anti-aging newsletter there. And thanks so much for watching.